starting grid for the 500. Chase Elliott taking over the iconic number 24, and Matt Kenseth won the race in a backup car in 2009 from the rear. He'll have to try to do the same today. And in row number 2 come the winners of the Geico dual or Can-Am dual races, Dale Earnhardt Jr. in a Chevrolet and Kyle Busch in a Toyota.
Got Joey Logano there starting in the 5th position. He starts 5th, and he's won from that position last year. Then you got Jamie McMurray, who won this race in 2010. Two good ones right there. You got Ryan Blaney, and this is his 2nd Daytona 500 start. That 21 car's won with a rookie before. Can they do it again today? And Kurt Busch, best finish in the 500, 2nd. And 3 times.
And in row 5, 2007 Daytona 500 champion. He's been quiet this week, but starting 9th, Kevin Harvick. And in the 10th position, Carl Edwards, looking for that first Daytona 500 win. In row 6, starting 11th, Denny Hamlin. Boy, has he been strong this week. Won the Unlimited. Looking for big things out of him. And starting next to him in 12th, Ty Dillon.
Pair of Chevrolets. In row number 7, Casey Kane has finished 7th in this race twice. Kyle Larson did not finish, crashed out of both of the last 2 500s. Greg Biffle, 3rd in the 500, top 10s the last 4 Daytona 500s, and Danica Patrick finished 8th here in 2013.
Chris Buescher, he'll start 17th. This is his first Daytona 500 start, the Xfinity champion from last year. And then Brian Vickers filling in for the injured Tony Stewart. Got Ricky Stenhouse Jr. He starts 19th. He finished 7th in the 14th in 2014. And then Matt DiBenedetto, he's starting his first career Daytona 500.
And in row 11, driving the famous number 3, we saw a horrific crash that he went through last year at Daytona. Austin Dillon starting 21st, and then 22nd, Michael Annett, who finished his best 2015 finish was here in 13.
Trevor Bayne, a winner, and Landon Castle. They're there in the 12th row, and you got 7 championships in row 13.
Oh, row 13 is a great row. Brad Keselowski, our 2012 champion. He hadn't won the 500 yet, but he wants to badly. Jimmy Johnson, he's got to go to the rear in that backup car, but he's a 2-time champion this race.
Regan Smith, top 10 in 3 of the last 4 plate races. Martin Truex goes to the rear in a backup car, as will A.J. Allmendinger in the next row.
And I like David Reagan in that 23 car. He's my long shot today, I got to tell you. And I know he hadn't done. I know he's won here before, and then A.J. Allmendinger.
And I like row 16. Casey Mears and Clint Boyer. Both of these guys are going to the front.
Bobby Labonte making his 24th consecutive Daytona 500 start, the 2000 champion. Eric Almirola won here in July of 2014.
Brian Scott in that 44 car for Richard Petty Motorsports. He's got to go to the rear. But listen, 2001, I stood up here and called my brother home to the Daytona 500. What a thrill it'd be to do it again.
Paul Menard is a guy that has really showed a lot of strength this week in the draft. And then you got Ryan Newman right next to him here in row 19. I also think we're going to see some great things out of these guys.
Michael McDowell, 7th at Daytona, July of 2014. And Robert Richardson Jr. was out haying on his spread in Texas when he got the call to come here and run at Daytona. That is your starting lineup. What a week it has been for 20-year-old second-generation driver Chase Elliott. He sped to the Daytona 500 pole last Sunday. That was his dad, Bill. And then yesterday, what a job he does to hold off Joey Logano and win the Xfinity Series opener.
Hey, Chase Elliott, this is Jeff Gordon up in the Fox booth. Boy, what a week you have had here in Daytona. You're coming in this season on a high note and starting it off right. Tell us about the excitement you're feeling right now for your first Daytona 500.
Hey, pal, yeah, it's been a lot of fun this week. Just very thankful for the opportunities through Mr. Hendrick and Napa Auto Parts and everybody at Hendrick Motorsports, and yesterday JRM. So it's been fun, but today's the most important day, you know that, and it's a long race, so just get started.
Well, you got the best in the business right behind you and your teammate Dale Earnhardt Jr. Tell us what you're going to have to do as a rookie, not having all the experience of some of these veterans out there, to get this Daytona 500 victory today.
In order to have a shot, you got to make it to the end, so I think that's our first goal. Try to be smart and you know, put yourself in what you feel like is the right position. So just try to make it to the end of this thing. 500 miles is a long time, and hopefully if we can make it there, we can give ourselves a chance.
Well, we're looking forward to it. Have a great race. Good luck.
Thanks, man.
Today's aerial coverage is brought to you by Goodyear.
I was made in the shadows of greatness, shaped by the hands of legacy, forged in the fires of racing. I've been challenged, tested, and proven. Whether it's on that track or off, the truth is, what you're made of is what you're made to do.
They're on the pace laps. Let's go to pit road, beginning with Jamie Little.
Well, Mike, Joey Logano won the biggest race of his career right here at the Daytona 500 1 year ago. But he told me he's more confident, more prepared than ever. And because he tasted victory, he's hungrier than ever. He's raced here 3 times in Speed Weeks and finished second all 3 times. He's ready to up it 1 position. Matt Yoakum?
After reflecting on his championship season, Kyle Busch, like any true racer, reassessed his goals. What's missing the cornerstone of Daytona 500 win? He told me his car this Speed Week has much more speed than in years past. Also, the weather could play into his favor. It's hot and slick. It could be an epic day for KB. Vince.
Brian Vickers wasn't expecting to be in this race, but he got the call to fill in for Tony Stewart, which is an interesting twist because Vickers himself has overcome a very serious medical condition. Today is an opportunity he thought he might never get, and he might never get again. It's Stewart's car and it's Stewart's team, but this is a very special Daytona day for Brian Vickers. Chris Neville?
Well, Greg Biffle has had a couple challenging years. He hasn't seen victory lane since Michigan 2013, but lots of changes at Roush Fenway Racing over the offseason. Most importantly, he's got a new crew chief in Brian Patty. Greg Biffle very happy with his race car this year. He says this is his best chance in recent years. Larry McReynolds?
Yeah, let's take a look at the race analysis. We're going to go for 200 laps, 500 miles. Pit road speed will be 55 miles per hour and the fuel window 42 to 46 laps. And Mike, you see the 5 drivers going to the rear with backup cars after crashing in the Can-Am duel.
Ready to race in Daytona. That's the 2016 Toyota Camry XSE leading the field, and it's driven by WWE superstar John Cena, who hosts American Grit, an intense new competition series that premieres April 14th only on Fox. Lights are out atop the safety car. As it comes down the 1,600-foot short chute, it'll make the hard left onto pit road, and they will address themselves to the starting line. 40 of America's best drivers in the biggest race of the year.
You got that right, Mike. We're getting ready to start this 2016 season. I just feel it. It's going to be one of the best ever. What an exciting way to get the season started off. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys.
With outside pole sitter Matt Kenseth having to drop to the rear, Chase Elliott had a choice to make. Did he choose the outside lane with Kyle Busch behind him, or choose the inside with his teammate and wingman Dale Earnhardt Jr.? That was the choice. That's the way they come around to complete lap 1.
Looked pretty obvious to me they had a plan, and boy, did that plan work out perfectly.
It made good sense, though, to have your teammate behind you, not beside you. So that was a good move, and they came across the line just like they wanted to.
I mean, Chase got a great start, but Junior got an even better start, pushing him right across the line and getting both those cars clear of the outside pole sitter of Kyle Busch.
I recall a rookie in 1993 who started on the pole and led the first lap.
Yeah, I had to do it from the second row, but he had some great help there. Boy, I'm so excited about this race. This is amazing. This is going to be an incredible day of racing. Already 3 wide, 2 and 3 rows back.
Now right behind the 2-liter single file, Kyle Busch on the outside, Toyota, Joey Logano inside in that yellow Ford. How do the 2 Chevys in front keep them at bay?
Staying hooked up like they are right there. That's one way. But, Mike, this is kind of like the opening play of the Super Bowl. You know, you don't want to fumble the ball. Don't mess it up, boy. This is your chance. Make it count.
Well, here's where it gets very interesting. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has been the one out front in all the racing that we've seen this week. He's in second right now, and he's protecting. He's protecting Chase Elliott up there, and this is a 500-mile race, so I totally understand that. But how long is he willing to stay in that second position? Because we all know the leader has such great control when they're out front.
I think it probably, I think Junior's going to let him lead a couple of laps because he's a rookie and it's good for him, and he's got a lot of confidence from his win yesterday. But that 88 car is going to shoot to the lead pretty quick.
Further back, driver's a little impatient, like the number 4, that black and white Chevrolet of Kevin Harvick, trying to bust his way into the top 10.
An incredible decision to make early in the race. Do you go 3 wide? Yeah, you want to get up further to the front. The further back that you are, the dirtier the air is. The car's not going to drive as good back there. So do you take that risk? Well, Kevin Harvick chose to, and so did Kyle Larson here.
Yeah, I think right now your tires are brand new. You got a lot of grip, and you see here we got a challenge and a pass.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. goes to the front after 3 laps of the Daytona 500.
There you go, buddy. Great line right there. Bottom news does have a little bit better line. Does help.
You got to push from Joey Logano there. And here comes the inside lane.
You hear that noise? You can hear the fans over the engines when Dale Jr. takes them.
We heard it at driver introductions, and we heard it right then when he took the lead.
That is Earnhardt Nation. And now, right behind the 2 leaders, the 2 rookies are side by side. Chase Elliott in blue, and on the bottom in red and white, driving for the storied Wood brothers, Ryan Blaney.
Now, we saw Joey Logano behind Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the duel, working everything he possibly could to try to figure out how to get by Dale Earnhardt Jr. He is going to school right now, and I guarantee he's going to make Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s life really difficult right now.
Right now, Mike, you don't want to take any risk. I mean, it's so early in this race. It's a long way to go. Getting 3 wide and kind of nerfing off each other and cutting in front of each other, that's not good moves right now. Play it smart, boys.
4 laps complete, and you're riding with Kevin Harvick, who has worked his way up to 6th position. Jamie.
And he is being aggressive early. That's exactly what his crew chief Rodney Childers told me they would do this morning. He said, we have to get up front quick. If we get in the middle, we're going to drop back. It is way too risky to be in the middle this early in the race.
I agree with that, Jamie. I think you got to pick your fights right now, and this is not the time to pick one.
Here comes Denny Hamlin on the inside. He's got Kyle Busch behind him. Those are both Joe Gibbs Toyotas. So Busch giving Hamlin in the 11 a push.
Well, first I said Dale Earnhardt Jr. was behind Chase Elliott. Then he had Denny Hamlin. Both of those guys so incredibly talented and experienced on these restrictor plate tracks. I knew he wasn't going to be there long. You saw he got a big push Chase up to the 22. The 22 had to sort of stall out, and 11 went right to the inside.
That 11 will have a say about who's going to win this race when it's over with. I guarantee you. Denny Hamlin is outstanding at Daytona on these restrictor plate tracks.
Let's check in on the drivers who had to go to the back because they were in backup cars. Trying to move up, Matt Kenseth, that yellow number 20 Toyota's gained 20 spots. Martin Truex Jr. and you're riding with Jimmy Johnson. His Chevrolet is up 18 from where he started.
I like what Junior said in the pre-race there about we've not all been out here together at one time. We've been in groups, we've drafted as teammates and whatnot, but now everybody's here and everybody has their game face on.
Look at this at the front. Why do we call Dale Earnhardt the Pied Piper at Daytona? Because both lanes are following him. He comes up, picks up Logano, he'll drop down, he'll pick up Denny Hamlin. They're all following Junior. Can anybody pass him?
I think he's got that in his headset. I think he's got that, he listened to that. Follow me, I'm the Pied Piper.
I can promise you that's not what Denny Hamlin and Joey Logano are thinking. They're trying everything they can to back up, get a run on Dale Jr. and make this move. As we see Logano getting the biggest run that we've seen so far, but this is where Dale Earnhardt Jr. is so incredible. He knows how to work those lanes. He's got a great spotter, and TJ up in the on top of this booth that's talking him through all the different moves and the momentum that's coming from behind.
Let's go to the leaders pit. Vince Welch.
Well, Dale Earnhardt Jr. has been fast throughout speed weeks. He's very comfortable and confident in this race car, which they've nicknamed Amelia. It ran all 4 of the plate races last year, named after Amelia Earhart for all her great accomplishments. And I asked crew chief Greg Ives why they named the car after a woman, and he said, because that's the way we treat it. With tender, loving care. So that's going to get you some positive tweets from the ladies on Twitter.
I like that. Yeah, that's great right there. You know, one thing Junior did say, being out front has its price to pay because you pick up a lot of debris. If there's any blowing around today, the leader's the first one to catch it.
Kurt Busch coming up the middle, trying to gain some ground. 12th place right now, adjacent Matt Kenseth, who started this race from the rear.
We actually see in the back of that shot, we see Ryan Blaney got caught to the inside. That's one of the things you have to do, and it's tough as a rookie. Block that middle lane, because if you don't block that middle lane, they'll go up in the middle, and you'll go all the way to the back.
And Blaney's number 21 slides all the way back to 25th.
Well, you know, had problems here the other night. He had a loose wheel, made an unscheduled stop, got back on the lead lap and finished third. So I think that kid's just being real conservative right now, just riding around, maybe just looking for an opportunity later on.
Teammates, Kevin Harvick in the 4, 41 Kurt Busch comes stomping up toward the front. Behind Toyota teammates, Denny Hamlin in the 11 and Kyle Busch in the 18. All right, so you got to the front. Now where do you go?
Well, you just keep trying to form that lane up behind you and hope that everybody's in line wanting to push and get the energy to shove that line forward.
10 laps complete in the Daytona 500. Dale Earnhardt Jr. leading. Don't go away, you won't miss a thing.
All right, team, time to get back to the Colonel's way of doing things. The hard way. When they taste my Greg Biffle hand-prepared batch, it's gonna be like they're back in Nashville. First, I'm gonna make it crispy. Then, I'm gonna make it spicy. Man, I'm fired up. All right, where do I start?
Greg, the Nashville hot chicken is all done. Just put the pickles on it.
Glad you're all on my team. KFC and over 2,100 restaurant managers are proud to ride along with me in the number 16 car during today's race.
Millions of people have switched to Sprint this past year. And to celebrate, we're extending our 50% offer so you can save on most Verizon, AT&T, or T-Mobile rates.
Money! We saved a lot of money.
The Sprint network is faster. And we're more reliable with better coverage than ever.
I like Sprint because of the reliability.
My movies download much faster.
Sprint's network is fast!
Now save $200 instantly when you get the Samsung Galaxy Note 5 or GS6 and trade in your smartphone. So switch today.
Toyota, let's go places.
Want a race? Ready, set, go.
Green flag is in the air.
Well, let's begin the hashtag 500. It's a Twitter competition. The 500th person to tweet using both hashtags on the screen will win that green flag waved by Baseball Hall of Famer Ken Griffey Jr. and signed by all the drivers. Follow @NASCAR on Twitter for more opportunities to win Daytona 500 gear during today's race. Chase Elliott led 3 laps from the pole. 1 lead change. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has been out in front for the last 11, followed by Toyota teammates Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin. Kevin Harvick's up to 4th in a Chevrolet. Joey Logano completes the top 5 in a Ford. Another of those Gibbs Toyotas, Carl Edwards, back in 11th place. Jamie?
Well, early on he said his car was great, it was neutral, but moments ago, about a lap ago, he told his new crew chief Dave Rogers the engine keeps stalling out. We'll keep our eye on the 19.
But you know, a lot of times that can be air. The cowl opening up there where the air goes into the engine, a lot of times turbulence around that area will cause the engine to kind of surge a little bit, or the car to surge a little bit. Nothing to worry about right now, I don't think.
Yeah, DW, and this is the first time they've been in these kinds of race conditions. The weather has changed slightly as well, but now he's in the middle of a big pack, and there's no doubt that I believe that it's the air moving around these cars. It's definitely causing him to feel that way.
You were riding with Jimmy Johnson, of the drivers that started this race at the tail end in backup cars, from 36th to 8th, 7th for Johnson in the 48. Former Daytona 500 pole sitter Austin Dillon has lost the draft. He's back in 39th position. Vince?
Yeah, does not like his race car at all. You hope at the start it's somewhere close, but Austin says it is way too tight, and he has lost that, not just the main pack, but also that second group, which is straggling and starting to string out a little bit, and you can see the big gap between Austin Dillon and the rest of the field.
Yeah, Vince, these cars are restricted, as everybody knows, and they don't have a lot of horsepower, and they don't have very much throttle response at all. So if you got to get out of that throttle very much, the first thing you know, they're driving off and leaving you. And if your car's not handling, you got to get out of the gas. Next thing you know, you'll get lapped.
Well, we talked about the conditions being different here today with the weather and the big packs, and how handling is going to become an issue. So not totally surprising, but I think it's obviously surprised Austin Dillon, as we see here, maybe a move for the lead.
Down to the inside, and looking for the lead comes your Sprint Cup champion, Kyle Busch. He's about to become the third driver to lead this 500.
Hang on to her, Denny.
Almost got turbo behind you. He's still digging. All good.
That was Kevin Harvick.
Oh, that was Harvick.
That
Sorry
went way
about
off
that.
track,
Wow.
below the yellow line.
What an incredible save. Do you know how difficult it is? I guarantee he was full lock to the right coming off there, and all that was aerodynamics, just taking the air right off of Kevin Harvick's rear bumper.
Wow. That was
three
incredible.
wide for second as they battle. We're going to show you what happened to Kevin Harvick. Watch the number 4.
Here we see he's just sucking up to the 18. He's got a good push from the 41. The 88 comes down, takes a little air off the outside of the car. Oh, wow, that is incredible. And then he locks up the left front tire, straightening it up.
Good.
It's a really vulnerable position to be in when you close up on that car in front of you right here.
Out of the 4th turn, one car goes sliding for the infield wall. It's Chase Elliott.
Oh, no.
Regan Smith spins out in the tri-oval, and when Elliott's car hit that grass, it's like the blade of a shovel hitting the turf. The front splitter just hits it and digs in. We're under the first caution of the day.
Yeah, he was running 8th and doing a pretty nice job of just trying to mind his manners there, I think. Let's see what happened.
Yeah, I was really hoping that car would spin backwards into that grass. We see how this grass just grabs that splitter and rips it off, and that's exactly what happened to Chase Elliott here.
Car owner Rick Hendrick looking on at his rookie pole sitter stalled in the grass in the tri-oval. Take a look at the number 24.
Right in here.
Right in the middle.
Yeah, it's also a tricky place to be. I mean, we're starting to see handling become a big issue. You can see the back of the car just comes up out a little bit. Looks like the 19th of Carl Edwards, when he got up to his left rear, it just started pushing the air on that car, and it just took the air off of the spoiler, and around he came.
It just stepped out, and I think it shows, Jeff and I were talking about this earlier, how hot the 3rd and 4th turn is, because the sun beams down on that end of the speedway. Then we got a little tailwind off of turn 4, and we've seen a number of cars get loose.
Watch this as he gets to the tri-oval grass. Bam, and that blade just digs in.
Yep. Just rips the nose right off the car. Here you go. Boom.
Oh. Not sure if there was any damage to the front of Carl Edwards, number 19, as Elliott came right across his bow.
Yeah, I definitely think they made contact, but how much contact is the question. Oh, what a disappointing way to start this race for Chase Elliott. So many high hopes.
Yeah, here's what I believe with this caution coming at lap 20. It's almost a half of a fuel run. And Jeff, Darrell, you guys keep talking about the handling. I think you should come and get 4 tires, but I bet you we'll have a handful that will roll the dice and just go with 2. You need at least 1 full can of fuel.
Well, all week long, all we've been seeing is people do gas and goes, 2 tires. Very rarely have we seen 4 tires, but what I'm seeing right now, I mean, Kevin Harvick, now Chase Elliott, we're seeing a lot of cars moving and sliding around, and I guarantee all those drivers right now are screaming about wanting 4 tires.
I want 4 tires.
Yeah, I want 4 tires.
I'm like Earnhardt was, Larry. I'm going to come in the fifth. I want 4 tires. I ain't leaving until I get them.
Regan Smith, you saw the number 7 come to pit road. He spun to avoid another car after Chase Elliott spun toward the infield. The whole front end of that Chevrolet just bowed right into the earth.
Mike, just think about a tire as an eraser on a pencil. When it's brand new, it does a really good job. It's got a lot of grip. It'll do a lot of erasing. But as it wears down, less and less.
Wow.
And that's a big impact from inside the car as well.
Because safety vehicles are working right at the entrance to pit road is closed. They'll take another lap of caution before they open up the pits. It's by far the warmest day of the week and with the most sunshine. So not quite the grip that they enjoyed the other night as Chase Elliott, the pole sitter, goes for a big spin. Pit road is open. Matt Yoakum.
Warmest day of speed weeks, and it shows in the handling of all the race cars. Everyone fighting a lack of grip. Jamie Little.
And Joey Logano in. He said handling is a big issue here. He couldn't do anything. A 4-tire stop and chassis adjustment for Logano.
Denny Hamlin wins the race off pit road, picks up 2 positions. We are 22 laps complete, 178 to go in the 500.
The Daytona 500 on Fox is sponsored by Busch Beer. Busch is back. Here's to earning it. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Chase Elliott's car towed to the garage. Everyone else running on the lead lap in Daytona.
There's more to me than just driving race cars. At my office, I'm water cooler Dale. Have y'all seen the pictures of Janet's baby?
Yeah.
So cute. It's so cute. Oh, man. That's the dimples. Unreal. For protecting my small business and more, Nationwide is on your side.
Toyota, let's go places.
Hey, what's up guys? Byron here. You guys enjoy watching baseball with lots of friends? This is a big hit with everyone. Sliders. You can make beef, chicken, turkey, and even veggie, so everybody's happy. Here's another tip that's a home run. Earn cash back with the Bank of America card, Cash Rewards card. You'll earn more cash back for the things you buy most, like 2% at the grocery store. For more tips like this, go to bankofamerica.com/getcashback.
You're watching Fox NASCAR.
Greg Biffle has the fastest observed top speed of the race so far. The Sprint LTE Plus network delivers faster download speeds. For a limited time, switch to Sprint. Save 50% on most Verizon, AT&T, or T-Mobile rates. Sprint, better for less. Now, everyone has been on pit road, but they did not all come on the lap that the pit road was opened. A couple waited a lap, some waited two. One of those who came in the second time by was Kevin Harvick.
It's almost like we just need to wait to pit, see how it forms, and I think our car is handling good enough. I mean, that was just a fluke situation, in my opinion, on it getting loose. I think we can drive by most of them after about lap 15.
Kevin Harvick and Rodney Childers talking over the strategy. He gave up third place and will restart 29th. Watch the four.
See, Mike, this is why I like Sunday afternoon racing. Look, we're dealing with things. You go to a night race, track conditions usually aren't much of an issue. You got a Sunday afternoon race here with the hot sunshine. The track is slick. Cars are hard to drive. People spinning out. That's the way it ought to be.
But that's an experienced veteran driver in Kevin Harvick saying that, you know, it was just a fluke deal. He recognized that a car got right up beside him and one was outside of him and it caused that car to get loose. He doesn't necessarily think they need to panic.
I wouldn't panic either now that I have 4 fresh tires on my car. I'd be very happy.
Chase Elliott has been checked and released from the infield care center. We'll hear from the pole sitter in a minute. We're ready to go back to green. We'll complete lap 25. Teammates, Denny Hamlin up front. Kurt Busch in the second spot. Kyle Busch, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Johnson and McMurray. A very orderly 2x2 restart.
Yeah, Fox Sports 1 doing the NHRA now. This looks like a drag race. Down the back straightaway they go.
I just got to believe the incidences we've seen that led up to this caution is going to change the scope of this race. We're now looking at a different Daytona 500 and a different pack type racing than what we've seen all week long. These cars are really going to start struggling with the handling as this race continues on.
These two front row cars, though, are irresistible force and immovable object. Hamlin, one of the most aggressive in the garage in the 11, and refused to lose Kurt Busch in the 41. This could get very interesting.
Well, that 41, Kurt Busch, he's run second in the 500 3 times. He wants to win himself one of these babies.
We've seen Dale Earnhardt Jr. always try to find his way to the front. We're going to see how aggressive he wants to be right here to try to get it back.
He's in fourth. Blue and silver car on the outside
and
of his teammate Jimmy Johnson in the 48.
Amazing how he's come from the back all the way up there. I shouldn't be surprised. He's a 6-time champion.
But you know, Junior says the races down here the last couple of years have been leader controlled. I think he's going to get to the lead as fast as he can because that's the safest place for him to be.
Yeah, I definitely think he wants to. It's interesting though how this inside lane is making some momentum and moving forward.
This is the 7th straight Daytona 500 that Denny Hamlin has led. That is the longest active streak in Sprint Cup racing. Action upper left live. Again, here's a look at what happened to our pole sitter, the Napa car, for Chase Elliott.
And I think part of that, he actually got up towards the one car and pulled the wheel and turned away from it, and then it came around. Jamie?
Well, Jeff, we're hearing a lot about handling of the cars. What happened with you? Was it a handling issue, Chase?
No, I just got in the middle there a couple laps before, and I got loose off 4 and just lost it. I hate it. It's such a fun week, and you hate to end the race before it even got started. So just disappointed for everybody, and we'll just have to look past it, get on for Atlanta. That's the most important thing now. Can't get caught up in what happened today. It's irrelevant now. So we'll try to get it fixed to make some laps, and if not, we'll head to Atlanta. If we can make some laps, we will, and move forward from here.
Thanks, Chase. Mike?
Yep, next Sunday, a track that's always been kind to the Elliots, his father Bill, and now Chase will be competing at Atlanta Motor Speedway next Sunday.
He's always so rational. You know, he just looks at the situation, nothing we can do about it now, and Atlanta's next week, and that's our next target.
Yeah, I love his attitude. You have to know he's disappointed. There's so much hype, so much build up to the Daytona 500. everything going so well, and then for it to all be taken away like that, very disappointing.
Yeah, won the race yesterday, Jeff, and did an amazing job of driving to hold off Joey Logano.
On this restart, the inside lane has taken off. Kurt Busch still leads the outside lane, but they're not moving like that group headed up by Denny Hamlin on the right of your screen.
No, they're not, and I don't know if maybe Hamlin is again starting to play a factor in that inside lane. Is just working a little bit better than the outside, but you know, we know that Kurt Busch is an excellent drafter with a fast race car. We also know right behind him he's got Dale Earnhardt Jr., who's a great pusher.
Yeah, well, here's what happens. When handling is a factor, sometimes you don't know who has the best handling car early on.
Might be Jimmy Johnson, who just jumped to the outside. Now he leads the outside lane from Busch, and here they come.
I thought that was a really interesting move. I don't know if he just got a big push and had a lot of momentum and thought he might be able to clear the 18. He jumped to the outside, but all of a sudden the momentum stopped. Let's see if he can get that energy going again by lining up in that outside lane.
How many backup cars are at the front now? Several.
20, 78, 48.
There's a number of them up there. Where'd they start? Gosh, they started back in the back.
Especially DW, we talk about handling.
Yeah.
You know, we've talked about this all week, and since we saw some of these drivers and teams go to backup cars, having a backup car that's not quite as slick, not quite as good in the wind tunnel is sometimes a lot better on the racetrack.
I asked Jimmy Johnson this morning, up talking to the Sunoco folks, who's the hardest car to pass here? He said the Joe Gibbs Toyotas, and in particular, Denny Hamlin.
Well, Denny has been very impressive, not just this week and today, but on restrictor plate racing for a long, long time. And I think now JGR Racing has gotten all the ingredients to make it even tougher to get by him.
Let's check back in Earnhardt's pit. Here's Vince.
Well, Dale Earnhardt Jr. says it's amazing how different the car is handling from when he was up front to where he is now, which is running around the 8th or 9th position. And he says he really feels the wind. Now, it's not near as windy today as it has been on some days, but Jr. says it's affecting the handling of the car, especially a few rows back.
And that was his point earlier there about the turbulence of all the cars out there at one time.
.32 laps complete in the 500. Denny Hamlin leading. Stay right here for a different side of Dale Earnhardt Jr. in a new Nationwide commercial coming up next.
There's more to me than just driving race cars. At my office, I'm water cooler Dale. Have y'all seen the pictures of Janet's baby?
Yeah.
So cute. It's so cute. Oh, man. That's the dimples. Unreal. For protecting my small business and more, Nationwide is on your side.
Let's go. Come on. Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Ooh, fancy.
We all good? You got everything?
Yeah, I got everything. Don't worry.
Okay.
Ladies, guys.
Toyota. Let's go places.
Power corrupts. And absolute power corrupts absolutely.
You're gonna go to war. This may be the only thing I do that matters.
The greatest gladiator match in the history of the world. Son of Krypton versus Bat of Gotham.
Stay down! If I wanted it, you'd be dead already. It's time you learn what it means to be a man.
Rated PG-13.
Tuesday, Messi and Barcelona take the attack to London for a battle with Arsenal.
And the header is in!
Wednesday, Man City set their sights on Dynamo Kiev. UEFA Champions League, Tuesday and Wednesday at 2 Eastern on FS1.
The Daytona 500 on Fox is sponsored by Nationwide. Nationwide is on your side.
Coming around to complete lap 37, Denny Hamlin. Late model driver from Chesterfield, Virginia, tapped to move up, got into the seat of one of these Joe Gibbs Toyotas, won his first try. It was the Sprint Unlimited here at Daytona. First ever race went to victory lane. Runner up in the Daytona 500 2 years ago. He's your leader with 3 teammates behind him.
That's a comforting sight in your rearview mirror to look back and see your teammates back there.
Yeah, that's definitely the best place to be. Single file. You've got people you can trust that you know you're going to be working with all day long right behind you. I tell you where it gets really tricky right now is having patience. You got to, if you're on that 4th, 5th, 6th row on back and you're side by side, and we've already seen handling becoming an issue, especially for Dale Earnhardt Jr., somebody who's been used to leading all week long and really wants to be up front. He's having to have a lot of patience just riding it out, being behind Kurt Busch. He doesn't have any place that he can really go right now. The lane's not moving. He's just got to take a deep breath, settle in, and be real patient right now.
Amelia's in turbulence right now. She's getting a rough ride, not happy being back there. She was much happier out front.
One of the drivers in the top 10 may have an issue. Chris Neville.
Yeah, Greg Biffle saying his car's pretty loose in that lower lane, saying I can't do much down here, so if I could get up in that high lane, I'd like to. He also radioed to the team just a few laps ago, I've got a wheel vibration. His crew chief, Brian Petty, radioed back and said, hey, there's nothing we can do right now. You're just going to have to ride it out.
That's my kind of crew chief right there. You just going to have to ride it out, bro.
Not much they can do for you right now.
Nope.
In the 16, he was one of the drivers that came to pit road and he did get 4 tires on that caution, that last caution.
Matt Yoakum.
And Mike, I spoke with Tony Gibson this morning, Kurt Busch's crew chief, and he expected after about 10 or so laps the outside lane to really organize and develop, and that's the lane you're going to want to be in. But right now, it's just not developing. The other issue that Kurt Busch has been having much in this race is especially down in turn 4. It's slick. He says it's tight, then it's loose. There's a crosswind is what Rick Corelli is telling him. He said simply it's treacherous down there.
Well, Busch's car was damaged earlier in the week. They elected to repair it rather than go to a backup car. But he's not making any headway with Jimmy Johnson and Jamie McMurray.
And that might explain exactly why that outside lane is not making any headway, because if he's having any kind of issues with handling, if he's having to check up at all, if he's not confident in turning that wheel and you know the car wants to head towards the wall, it's definitely going to hold up that outside lane.
More shake, rattle, and roll from Jamie.
That's right, with the 4 of Kevin Harvick. When he got loose and got out of line, he dropped to the back and he started reporting a vibration after that pit stop. His pit crew has their helmets on. They are ready just in case he needs to bring it down. They're eyeing it right now and hoping it gets better.
Harvick is 25th. Remember, he pitted on the 2nd lap the pits were open during caution. Restarted toward the back.
You know, you never want to leave the wheel loose. I mean, that's a no-no. But if you're going to do it to him, you can do it at the end of the day when it counts. You know, not early in the race when I got to stop and maybe go a lap down.
And the general rule of thumb with a vibration is if it doesn't get any worse, you're usually okay. As soon as it gets worse, you got to come in. You know that that's going to be a loose wheel.
Well, that's what NASCAR said about the lug nut rule. You know, they're not monitoring that anymore. And all these drivers have said, and you know this, if a wheel is loose, you're not going to stay out there very long. So it kind of polices itself.
Let's have a look at today's Toyota top performers. 3 Joe Gibbs Toyotas, Hamlin, Busch, and Kenseth 4th. Now Martin Truex Jr.'s team switched to Toyota in the offseason. Furniture Row Racing now running 3rd of a Toyota foursome. Then it's Jimmy Johnson Chevrolet, 4 Fords in a row. Almirola, Blaney, Biffle, and Logano. Kyle Larson Chevy completes the top 10. Michael Waltrip trying to win his 3rd Daytona 500. He's going to race here and Talladega. Driving for BK Racing in a Toyota. Currently 28th, but watch his number 83 as Trevor Bayne comes alongside. Woo.
I think Michael saw in his mirror, and this is a veteran driver. He's watching his mirrors, his spotter's talking to him. He saw that 6 car coming up, and he wanted to jump up in front of him before he got to the outside of him.
There was just enough room.
43 laps complete. Richard Petty in the 43 won the 500 7 times.
There's more to me than just driving race cars. At my office, I'm water cooler Dale. Have y'all seen the pictures of Janet's baby?
Yeah.
So cute. It's so cute. Oh, man. That's the dimples. Unreal. For protecting my small business and more, Nationwide is on your side.
Let's do this.
Toyota, let's go places.
This Bat Vigilante, it's like a one-man reign of terror. The press has to do the right thing. You don't get to decide what the right thing is. Nobody cares about Clark Kent taking on the Batman. Next time they shine your light in the sky, don't go to it. The Bat is dead. Bury it.
Rated PG-13.
Tuesday, Messi and Barcelona take the attack to London for a battle with Arsenal. Wednesday, Man City set their sights on Dynamo Kiev. UEFA Champions League, Tuesday and Wednesday at 2 Eastern on FS1.
The Daytona 500 on Fox is sponsored by Sprint, proud sponsor of the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series, and by Goodyear, the official tire of NASCAR.
Hope you're enjoying Daytona Day. It's beautiful here in Daytona Beach for the race, the warmest day of Speed Week. Now 69 degrees. Winds variable. Right now out of the southwest at 6. Track temp just over 100 degrees. Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch, Martin Truex, Matt Kenseth. Toyotas lead them around. Jimmy Johnson 5th in a Chevrolet. Eric Almirola's Ford is 6th. But one of the Fords, defending 500 champ Joey Logano, has been up to the top, down to the bottom, and all over the place here.
About 670 water here. The fact that I'm just tucked up makes it tough to stay cool.
10-4, are you cool running that lane, or do you want me to try to find you a gap and get up?
The bottom is better than the top for handling.
But the top is where he is right now, and that's allowed 7 cars at the front to break away.
Yeah, he's not giving up a whole lot. We've seen that car really slipping and sliding around, and doesn't look like it's handling very good, but he's not willing to say just how bad the handling is right now on the radio anyway.
But Mike, those are distractions, and when the driver starts focusing on his water temps and things like that, you lose spots. You start thinking, oh, I got to get this thing cooled down. I got to get in another line. I got to move here. I got to move there. That takes your focus away from running up front and being one of the fast cars.
7 cars in front, 4 Toyotas, a Chevy, and 2 Fords, one of which Eric Almirola in 6th. Matt?
Almirola trying to stay close to Jimmy Johnson in the 48. Now they changed 4 tires on that first stop. No changes, but he has developed a vibration on this set of tires. He said it hasn't gotten any worse. He's going to try to just ride it out until the next stop.
We've heard that so much this week about vibration in tires. I know the 20 car went through 3 or 4 sets of tires trying to find a set They were chasing a vibration. They ended up being in the tires. I've heard others complain about that as well.
Rookie Ryan Blaney on the tail end of that fast freight in front of the field. 7 cars, single file, trying to increase that distance, while Greg Biffle in the 16, Kurt Busch, Casey Kane, and Kyle Larson try to play catch up.
Yeah, Ryan Blaney's doing an excellent job. You know, just being able to stay in that front group there is one thing, but we're seeing all these cars slipping and sliding around and having issues with handling, and yet here he is right in that lead group doing an excellent job.
"50 laps complete. We're 1/4 of the way in this year's Daytona 500. Let's take a look at our nationwide Dale Jr. performance report. Vince Welch.
Well, Junior led 15 laps early in this race. He slipped back a little bit now, but it's interesting. When Junior pitted on lap 22, he felt like the pit box was very slippery, didn't feel like it had any grip. So after that pit stop, a crew member sprayed some soft drink on the pavement to give it a stickier feel and more grip, and then they worked it in. We'll see if Junior feels the difference the next time they come through.
You know, the 24-hour race was run here a couple of weeks ago, and they used these pit stalls all night long. They used it for 24 hours. They spilled oil, gas, brake fluid, everything in the world in these pit stalls. That makes them pretty slick when these guys get here to use them.
Yeah, we talk about how the conditions have gotten slicker with handling on the racetrack. Well, that also transfers over onto pit road as well.
The hottest, sunniest day all week.
I like it.
It's allowed a bit of a breakaway here. Biffle and Kurt Busch have caught the front pack. It is now 9 cars long, with Denny Hamlin of Virginia leading them around Daytona.
Toyota, let's go places.
There's more to me than just driving race cars. At my office, I'm water cooler Dale. Have y'all seen the pictures of Janet's baby?
Yeah.
So cute. It's so cute. Oh, man. That's the dimples. Unreal. For protecting my small business and more, Nationwide is on your side.
You're gonna go to war. He's the one that brought the war to us. Count the dead. Thousands of people. What's next? Millions. He has the power to wipe out the entire human race, and if we believe there's even a 1% chance that he is our enemy, we have to take it as an absolute certainty. And we have to destroy him.
Rated PG-13.
Tuesday, Messi and Barcelona take the attack to London for a battle with Arsenal.
And the how do I say it?
Wednesday, Man City set their sights on Dynamo Kiev. UEFA Champions League, Tuesday and Wednesday at 2 Eastern on FS1.
The Daytona 500 on Fox is sponsored by Coca-Cola. Taste the feeling.
Trouble, turn 4. Brian Vickers goes for a spin. Everybody takes evasive action and gets by without further incident.
Back on the brake. Back on the brake. Back on the brake. There you go.
The 19 car, Carl Edwards, he got damaged. The 6 of Trevor Bayne, he got damaged. Several cars damaged in a chain reaction there.
We knew it was coming. We've seen these cars moving around a lot. Drivers really with their hands full, going from the inside lane, just sliding up to the outside lane. So you knew it was just a matter of time before someone was finally going to lose it.
Yeah, that 14 car with Brian Vickers, he just hadn't seemed comfortable to me in that car the whole time we've been here. It's just been a little bit off for him.
Substituting for Tony Stewart, who was injured in an off-road vehicle crash during the off-season and recuperating. Let's have a look at Brian Vickers in the 14 in black and orange.
Gets a run up on Joey Logano, gets right to his bumper on it. Maybe Joey even had to check up, and when he did that, it just took all the air off of Brian's car and off that rear spoiler, and around it went.
Saw the 19 car right there, Carl Edwards. He hit the wall. I really think you're right. What happened was I think Joey's been having to lift off turn 4 there a little bit because the car wasn't handling good, and he just ran up on him.
2 is still up there. The 38 is half of him. 14 right wheel still out there.
Right there, you saw the left front tire just clip the apron. You could tell that as he got close to him, the car started having a little bit of an issue, and then you saw it just clip the apron, and around it went.
Here's what Brian Vickers had to say.
Need more speed. Car's handling good. 22 just get the brakes coming out of the corner.
That's what I saw. It looked like the 22. I think the car's that loose. I think Joey Logano in the 22 is loose. Had to get out of the throttle a little bit, and Brian Vickers in the 14 ran up on him.
Now Vickers' car appears to be undamaged.
Yeah, I think that this is definitely fixable. You know, 4 flat spotted tires, but as far as damage to the aerodynamics, I think he's in good shape.
I think this is the car that's in trouble. Carl Edwards in the 19 hit that outside wall pretty hard with that right front.
And that was after he got a hit from Trevor Bayne. Now watch Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 88 and Michael Waltrip in the 83 play thread the needle. They'll come in from the top of the screen. Here they come, the 2 blue cars.
They are right here.
Wow.
You always say go where the wreck is. Drive toward it because it won't be there when you get there if you're lucky.
And with Carl Edwards, it looked like he was trying to check up, and Trevor Bayne just couldn't get slowed down enough, got in the back of him, turned him into the outside wall.
They'll clean up the short chute between turn 4 and the trioval, and open pit road this time. Looks like everybody's coming. Matt?
The rest of the Gibbs fleet, 1st, 2nd, and 4th. Matt Kenseth said they're sliding around so much, 3 wide is going to be tough. Kyle Busch slides to a stop. Their plan is to go for 4 tires. No chassis adjustments. Adjustment on the 11, Vince.
Of Martin Truex is just a little bit too free across the center. They're going to take 4 tires, slight air pressure adjustment. Jamie?
Daryl, you were exactly right about the 22. So slick, it feels like the 4th of July. A big wedge adjustment, air pressure in 3 of the 4 tires, and a 4-tire change for the 22 of Logano.
Jimmy Johnson, Chad Knaus, and Lowe's team gain 4 positions on pit road to put Johnson in the lead. Here's Dale Earnhardt Jr. racing through as Brian Vickers spins.
There's more to me than just driving race cars. At my office, I'm water cooler Dale. Steve still hasn't accepted my friend request.
He has really high
Are
standards.
you guys friends with him?
Oh, no, we're friends with him.
No. For protecting my small business and more, Nationwide is on your side.
Folks, you can't make this stuff up. 4 bandits chose a Prius as their getaway car.
Bravo, Niner. In pursuit of a Toyota Prius, over.
How hard is it to catch a Prius? Over.
This thing is actually pretty fast, over.
Very funny.
Oh, look, a farmer's market. We should get some flowers for the car. Toyota, let's go places.
You're gonna go to war. He's the one that brought the war to us. Count the dead. Thousands of people. What's next? Millions. He has the power to wipe out the entire human race, and if we believe there's even a 1% chance that he is our enemy, we have to take it as an absolute certainty. And we have to destroy him.
Rated PG-13.
Tuesday, Messi and Barcelona take the attack to London for a battle with Arsenal.
And the header is in!
Wednesday, Man City set their sights on Dynamo Kiev. UEFA Champions League, Tuesday and Wednesday at 2 Eastern on FS1.
What happened here? The bad guys in this town are changing. I don't know how bad it's gonna get. They think guns can stop me? They have no idea.
The Daytona 500 on Fox is sponsored by Advance Auto Parts. Let's get you back to the garage. And by KFC's new Nashville Hot Chicken. It's spicy, smoky, and crispy.
60 laps, 150 miles complete. Riding along with Greg Biffle under the caution. He has the names of 2,100 KFC restaurant managers on his car.
I know most of those guys.
He's also carrying our Happy Daytona Day sticker on his steering column.
Yeah.
Thanks, Greg. Jimmy Johnson took 2 tires on that pit stop, gained 4 spots to the lead.
Yeah, all these teams, they're thinking about the end of the race. They're thinking about the next pit stop. So they immediately come off pit road, start to get caught up to the pace car, shut the engine off. The best way to save fuel is by the engine not running at all.
And there's no question, Chad Knaus and Jimmy Johnson are going for track position because they've changed 2 tires on both of their trips to pit road. But what's interesting about pitting there at lap 58, if they conserve enough fuel, I know it's hard to believe, it's a 2-stop race from here to the end.
Like every race, people talk about fuel mileage race. Oh, that's a fuel. Every race is a fuel mileage race.
From the drop of the green flag.
Amen.
There you see 2 tires, both trips to pit road, lap 22 and lap 58.
All right, we listened in on Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s team.
Yeah, we're probably off of the corner, but we're pretty loose in. Just no downforce, no grip. I can't really get to do what I want to do. This track's incredible how much slicker it is this time.
A common complaint under this bright, sunny, warm day, warmest of the week. Jimmy Johnson, Chevrolet, Denny Hamlin's Toyota, number 11. Bring them back to the green.
You see that 11 get right down on the door. The 48 of Jimmy Johnson just trying to get a little side draft there. Needs some help. Here comes Martin Truex in the 78.
Middle of turn 2, stay low. Outside, they're talking about debris in the middle of turn 2, so stay on the bottom. Outside, you guys are alone.
You stay on his door and then you swing out. You stay on his door and you swing out, trying to break that side draft.
We're hearing Earl Barb and Jimmy Spotter up on the roof, high above us.
Yeah, Earl's a very experienced, great spotter, gives a lot of information, and you can hear him. I mean, Jimmy's driving the car, but he's almost doing some of the driving for him as well.
Here come the Toyotas in the outside lane, led by Hamlin. Martin Truex right with him, dead even at the line.
Right now, Jimmy Johnson's the lone Chevy up there among a lot of cars until you go all the way back there in row 4 to Kyle Larson, the 42.
How low the back of these cars get in the turn. They really are low as they go through all that downforce and banking. Then they raise up a little bit down the straightaway, and that's why they move around like they just snake around on the straightaway.
You see Kyle Busch get right up on the rear bumper of Jimmy Johnson. We're going to find out how good those 2 tires are and how well that 48 Lowe's Chevrolet is handling with Jimmy Johnson when Kyle Busch gets up on his bumper that close.
I tell you, Jimmy Johnson is one of the best at holding on a car that's really free. Probably some guys couldn't drive that car as free as he does. He and Chad just seem to have something worked out there, makes it fast.
And that's what I love about the conditions and how they've changed, because now what we're going to see are the cars that handle well, the cars that are fast, the drivers that know how to be able to move these cars around, let them have their way, and still be able to keep them going straight.
Danica Patrick is the one in the middle. It's 2x2 in front of her. Casey Kane alongside in the 5. Jamie McMurray in the 1. She's trying to make that center lane work.
Well, we haven't seen a lot of bump drafting. We saw just a little bit right there. Joey Logano in the 22, and they give Danica a push forward right there in the 10. It helped a little bit.
And you heard from Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s radio conversation. His car's really loose getting into the corner, so that's a very vulnerable position to have Danica in. As you got to turn 3, Joey got on her rear bumper, and that's a place that can really turn that car sideways. Plus, we saw the hood flap come up, and that's the kind of turbulent air we're seeing when you're right behind somebody.
Air pressure.
Earnhardt pulls alongside of Patrick. Matt?
Her expectations were really to get back to how she was running in 2014, that competitive level week in, week out. And she is simply there at the moment. Now, the previous run, she said her biggest complaint was stability in the back of the car. She felt like that was more due to the wind. They made a track bar adjustment. We'll see if that helps.
This is one of her best racetracks. She's had some great runs here, set on the pole. This is one of her best tracks. Finished 8th here.
Neither of the front row restarters can gain an advantage. Johnson, Hamlin, Chevy, Toyota, they're still dead even at the front.
Not real happy about this. This looks a little treacherous to me right now.
You know, we talk about somebody, and there he goes. This is the guy I was going to talk about, Brad Keselowski. We haven't heard a lot about him in this Daytona 500 so far, but I guarantee you he's going to find a way to the front. He's an aggressive driver. He likes to make big moves. He's got a fast race car. We saw he almost went to the outside coming through the tri-oval, and then as we got down into turn 1, they went to block that, and he went right through the middle.
Currently 12th, 3 wide with Patrick on the inside and McMurray on the outside.
Boy, those cars are really dancing off turn 4. You can see they're pushing and getting loose. Turn 4 is a handful right now.
How about Ryan Blaney? He will run the entire season in that number 21 for the Wood brothers as a satellite team to Team Penske. 5 drivers have gone to victory lane in the 500 that this rookie wheels today.
Hard to call him a rookie right now. The way he's been driving this week, he's doing a fantastic job.
It's so reminiscent of Trevor Bayne when he drove that car down here as a rookie. But that Jeremy Bullins, he's a great crew chief. He and Blaney, they got a nice relationship. That's going to be a tough car for Chase to deal with all year long.
Absolutely.
Chase Elliott has returned to the track. Now there is Leonard Wood, Hall of Fame mechanic. He is our sport's Thomas Edison. You just can't believe what Leonard Wood can do with a welding stick and a grinder and a saw and some spare pieces of sheet metal. In fact, they pitted Jim Clark when he won the Indy 500. Leonard made a 1/4 scale replica of that car that runs, and he made it just from pieces of scrap around the shop.
I saw pictures of the car. Absolutely beautiful, incredible, and that's just his hobby.
Yes. His specialty is reducing driveline drag in these cars, and every time we've come down here for many years, that 21 has been one of the fastest.
Tuning, he was really good on it with it when we had the carburetor and cylinder heads. He did a lot of cylinder head work. Really good on tuning.
Now, you know, the prior run to this, we saw Denny Hamlin on the inside lane, and yes, he had help from teammates and fellow Toyota drivers, but that inside lane really moved forward. Now we're not seeing that. I don't know if that's just showing the strength of Denny Hamlin on that outside lane.
68 of 200 laps complete. Johnson's 48, Hamlin's 11. Neither can gain advantage.
Toyota. Let's go places.
There's more to me than just driving race cars. At my office, I'm water cooler Dale. Have y'all seen the pictures of Janet's baby?
Yeah.
So cute. It's so cute. Oh, man. That's the dimples. Unreal. For protecting my small business and more, Nationwide is on your side.
Power corrupts. And absolute power corrupts absolutely.
You're gonna go to war. This may be the only thing I do that matters.
The greatest gladiator match in the history of the world. Son of Krypton versus Bat of Gotham.
Stay down! If I wanted it, you'd be dead already. It's time you learn what it means to be a man.
Rated PG-13.
Tuesday, Messi and Barcelona take the attack to London for a battle with Arsenal.
And the header is in!
Wednesday, Man City set their sights on Dynamo Kiev. UEFA Champions League, Tuesday and Wednesday at 2 Eastern on FS1.
The Daytona 500 on Fox is sponsored by Nationwide. Nationwide is on your side.
It's Chevy Truck Month. Get to your Chevy dealer. Take home the 2016 Silverado 1500 from the fastest growing pickup brand, Chevrolet. Find new roads. 72 laps complete and a Chevrolet in front. That is Jimmy Johnson. He broke the log jam at the front that saw Denny Hamlin. Brian Vickers back in the field. Tony Stewart joins us once again. Has been watching his team intently. There is their running order.
Hey Tony, great to have you on. What are you seeing so far in this Daytona 500 from home?
Well, the typical deal that we normally fight during February is, you run the Sprint Unlimited at night, you run the qualifying race at night, and then we don't spend a lot of time in drafting practice because you don't want to get caught up in a wreck and hurt your primary car. So everybody's just now getting a chance to really find out what they got handling-wise. But it's much more of an issue and going to be a factor than I think we all figured it was going to be.
Tony, what's Vickers been saying about the car? He's looked a little uncomfortable in that car to me.
Well, at the beginning of the race, he said he was a little bit loose, and then the balance came to him and then got tight late in the run, and he was really happy with it. But obviously when he spun behind the 22 car, he said the 22 car checked up and he had to get out of gas. So, having to go to the back now and, he's got his hands full now. It sounds like the change they made on the pit stop, that they're going to have to undo it and get it back underneath him. But I think those guys are doing a good job. They seem to be making good adjustments. This one was a little bit too far, but they can come back and get it right the next stop.
Hey, Tony, obviously you know all the things that are going on with your team out there. How active are you in being involved with the decision making, not only today but leading up to the race? We know you're a racer and it's hard for you to get away from it, but have you been very active with everything going on with the team?
Well, I've talked to Brian a lot, and I've also talked to Mike, the crew chief. Obviously this is his first race as a crew chief, and this morning called and talked to him and just made sure that both of them were calm and relaxed. Just talking through the changes with Mike. And trying to get the input from Brian about what he's comfortable with, what's making him uncomfortable, and what we need to change to get him to this part of the day where they can get most of those things behind them and really get focused on the task at hand right now. So most of it's just kind of, I'm like the guy that you call for technical support. I'm here on the other line, but I'm really not really calling the shots. I'm here just to kind of walk them through if they have any questions and just give them input when I can.
Well, one of your drivers, Kurt Busch, currently fighting for third. Tony, how about a quick word on how your recovery is progressing and any idea when we'll see you back at the track and back in a car?
Well, I'm thinking that I'm actually going to come visit in the next couple weeks back to a cup race. But you know, we don't even get X-rayed again until March 9th, so we're really not going to know what the progress of the bone is. But as far as myself personally, I've been up and getting around and moving around a lot each day. I can tell a noticeable difference each day from the previous day. So feeling a lot better, and man, I'm itching to get back at the racetrack. That's probably been the hardest part of the last 10 days, is just not being at the track, not seeing the officials, your crew guys, other guys from other teams. That's what I've missed so far this speed week so far.
Well, Smoke, thanks for joining us. We missed you, buddy. We'll see you soon.
Yeah, we look forward to that, Tony. Thank you.
Boy, dude, that Kyle Busch, I mean, he's won. And listen, I know why he wanted that lead. Eminem's got this big thing going on the 75th lap, and he was trying everything he could to get that car out front on that 75th lap. Came up a little short, but he got it now.
Sprint Cup champion Kyle Busch to the front, his teammate Matt Kenseth and Denny Hamlin. Look at Jimmy Johnson, the 48, dropped like a rock.
Oh, yeah, once he got shook out of the draft, he's in trouble.
Yeah, he was trying to side draft that inside lane, just trying to slow down their momentum, find a hole to get back in there. And then here came Ryan Blaney with a lot of momentum and went to the outside, took him 3 wide, and now he's going to go really far back and fight his way to the front.
I felt like Kyle had something for him, because Jimmy had to block Kyle Busch in the 18. Had to block him real good there a couple of times to keep him behind him. Then Kyle Busch was able to drop under him and take the lead.
And don't forget, he took 2 tires on that last stop. So when you're out front, the car is driving really good. You have nothing to worry about. But when you get back in this 3 wide like this, oh boy, those 2 tires are not going to be real friendly.
Your racers are wearing out fast.
And the fearsome Toyota foursome are back in command.
There's more to me than just driving race cars. At my office, I'm water cooler Dale. Steve still hasn't accepted my friend request.
He has really high
Are
standards.
you guys friends with him?
Oh, no, we're friends with him.
Friends with him. No. For protecting my small business and more, Nationwide is on your side.
This bat vigilante, it's like a one-man reign of terror. The press has to do the right thing.
You don't get to decide what the right thing is.
Nobody cares about Clark Kent taking on the Batman. Next time they shine your light in the sky, don't go to it. The bat is dead. Bury it.
Rated PG-13.
Here's Casey Mears on the Geico Super Cycle. Geico's unveiling 2 new custom bikes to honor 75 years of Daytona Bike Week. Geico, over 75 years of savings and service. Mears currently 16th in the Daytona 500, 82 laps complete, 118 to go. Kyle Busch and teammates Matt Kenseth and Denny Hamlin and their new best friend Martin Truex, who's also in a Toyota, have the front 4 spots. Then it's 5 Chevrolets and Ryan Blaney, the only Ford in the top 10 right now.
Boy, I really like that 78 car of Martin Truex. He's been right there, really not making a lot of noise, just hanging with his buddies. Cole Pern has got him tuned up pretty good today. Little backup car.
There's a look at all of those Chevrolets, including Ty Dillon. And remember, Austin Dillon lost the draft, was way back behind everybody. He's right back up with a pack in 11th place there. Vince?
You guys were talking about that 78 of Martin Truex Jr. Of course, had a little bit of a free through the center issue earlier, but Cole Pern has fixed him up. It's been an eventful speed weeks for the 78. They had the roof flap issue in qualifying, didn't make a qualifying attempt, then crashed in the duel, had to go to the backup, start at the rear today, but they've made their way to the front. And Pern told me beforehand, he said, we've got good speed. If we can get to the front without any problems, we're going to be a player, and they have been so far.
Those front 11 cars have a little bit of a breakaway to Danica Patrick, Jamie McMurray, and Jimmy Johnson back there 10th, 11th, and 12th. Jamie?
Well, the 2012 Sprint Cup Series champion not running as well as we thought he would. He told us early in this week this is the best race car he's ever had down here. Ford brought those new noses. They were really happy with what they saw when they were racing at night. The speed was great, but so far today back in traffic he said, okay, I got to my teammate on the 21. I'm not fast enough to stay with him. He's mid-pack now, Chris.
Well, Jamie, Kyle Larson having a good day today, but he has slid back in the last couple laps. And Jeff was talking about patience earlier. That's exactly what Kyle needs when it comes to speedway racing. He crashed out of the Daytona 500 the last 2 years, and he says he just wants to race hard. Staying in line is absolutely painful out there. The team has reminded him multiple times today, we just need to survive.
Jeff, take us back through this pass for the lead. Let's put Kyle Busch out front.
Yeah, we see Jimmy Johnson's leading the field. Now he chooses to not go down to the yellow line to the bottom. We saw Denny Hamlin when he was out front. He just stuck right on that yellow line. So Kyle Busch took full advantage of this. He got a run. It's a great move. You just go to the bottom, make the shorter run. Jimmy moves down to block it, but just couldn't quite make it happen. Kyle Busch takes his teammate Matt Kenseth to the front. And Denny Hamlin.
And Martin Truex. and.
Well, and I tell you, such a huge moment there, because now Jimmy Johnson is all the way back in the middle of this field, 13th.
Kyle Busch, the defending Sprint Cup champion, who did not compete in the 500 last year, is your leader.
There's more to me than just driving race cars. At my office, I'm water cooler Dale. Steve still hasn't accepted my friend request.
He has really high
Are
standards.
you guys friends with him?
Oh, no, we're friends with him.
No. For protecting my small business and more, Nationwide is on your side.
Great first game, huh, Jenny?
Yeah. Remember when our team won? They were all like, ah, can I have my hat back?
Yep.
I should be back in Monday. They bought it.
Cleveland, here we come!
You got this, Jen.
Excited? Toyota, let's go places. Power corrupts. And absolute power corrupts absolutely.
You're gonna go to war. This may be the only thing I do that matters.
The greatest gladiator match in the history of the world. Son of Krypton versus Bat of Gotham.
Stay down! If I wanted it, you'd be dead already. It's time you learned what it means to be a man.
Rated PG-13.
Tuesday, Messi and Barcelona take the attack to London for a battle with Arsenal.
And the how do I say it?
Wednesday, Man City set their sights on Dynamo Kiev. UEFA Champions League, Tuesday and Wednesday at 2 Eastern on FS1.
90 laps complete in the 500. Here are your Ford performance track facts. Ford has won 4 of the last 7 Daytona 500s, 2011 and 12. The only time they have won it back-to-back. Joey Logano, defending champion, trying to be the 4th driver ever to win back-to-back 500s, following Richard Petty, Cale Yarborough, and Sterling Marlin. Dave Blaney is the highest running Ryan Blaney, Dave Blaney's son, Lou Blaney's grandson. He is in 8th place. He is the highest running Ford in the race.
Oh, trouble. Turn 2 down here, guys. Turn 1 and 2. Big trouble.
2 cars hard into the wall. Chris Buescher, one of those 4 rookies, is all tied up with Matt DiBenedetto.
I'm not so sure something didn't happen to one of those cars, because that when I looked up, it was headed straight to the wall, as if something happened, maybe a right front tire, maybe.
Certainly a lot of damage on these 2 vehicles.
Really hard hit, Jeff. I was looking right at it, and it looked like, well, take a look at it.
Both competing in their first Daytona 500. That was DiBenedetto first into the outside wall.
Well, he got a double whammy.
Buescher.
Anytime you see the rear tires lift up off of a car as it makes impact, you know that's a huge hit.
What I don't like about that is that Buescher hit the wall head on, and then he got hit by DiBenedetto here in the driver's, or in the right side, trying to get a double whammy here.
Can't quite grasp what turned both of those cars.
No.
They weren't really right together when they came into frame and headed towards the wall.
This happens 8 laps shy of halfway.
I didn't see enough of it to be sure what happened, but one of the cars just shot up the hill.
I gotta believe that there was contact made earlier between those 2 cars that got them out of shape enough to where both of them.
Yeah,
we saw the 93 head towards the wall first, and then the 34 made that head-on shot straight into the wall.
Both drivers moving around still in the car. Here comes DiBenedetto after a very hard hit.
Boy, you can tell that hurt.
And he's going to walk away. Good news. And here's Chris Buescher, the defending NASCAR Xfinity Series champ. After gathering himself, he climbs out. Pit road is open.
Matt Kenseth, he'll hit first. Now his car was much freer through turns 3 and 4. Upper left, Kyle Busch, they're going by foot. He was loose in, Vince.
Martin Truex Jr. still needs some help through the center. A little free, right side tires only. Jamie?
Casey Kane said his entry's good, just getting a little bit tight. He's been moving his way forward. They're taking 4 tires once again and a chassis adjustment to help that handling a bit more.
5 drivers did not stop. They had all made late pit stops under the last caution. And I believe that'll put David Reagan to the front. 3rd caution of the day for a 2-car crash down in turn number 1.
There's more to me than just driving race cars. At my office, I'm water cooler Dale. Have y'all seen the pictures of Janet's baby?
Yeah.
So cute. It's so cute. Oh, man. That's the
The Daytona 500 on Fox is sponsored by Ford. We go further so you can. And by Credit One Bank, the official credit card of NASCAR. Hope you're enjoying Daytona Day here on Fox. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Superior performing tires to face challenging conditions on the track and on the road. Goodyear, the official tire of NASCAR. Chris Myers watching along with you in a quick recap. If you haven't been with us for the first half of the race, Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 88 passing teammate, the rookie pole sitter Chase Elliott for the lead. Junior's led twice in this race on the lap 18. See Kevin Harvick. This is turn 4. Call it chaos corner because he makes a nice save, but then Chase Elliott spins in that same area. Carl Edwards involved there.